As you all know, we are one day away from the most important, consequential election of our lifetimes. And this is no joke. This is no exaggeration. The life of America, the very foundation of democracy, hangs in the balance. No, I'm just kidding. It's just another time where people can vote away their own responsibility and vote for a political, parasitic, psychological operation known as a banker psychopath to make themselves feel better and make themselves feel like they have a whole lot of power when in fact they don't have a power, to make them feel like they have a choice, but they really don't have a choice because it is an illusion of choice. One of my favorite memes, I was going to throw it up here, but I'll just tell you, you've heard it before. The forest was shrinking, but the trees, they kept voting for the axe because, you know, the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. So you might ask, well, what's the answer? If you're not going to vote, what's the answer? Well, the answer is to stand tall like a tree and stop voting for the axe. Because when you vote for a parasitic puppet, a parasitic political puppet, it's a vote against yourself and for the very government that seeks to do you harm. Now, what I have on the screen right here is from this YouTube channel called Jubilee. I'm going to have to interrupt quite frequently because I've noticed that Jubilee will not let you use long clips, even though it's fair use and it's substantive transformation in these videos. But I want to key in on what this girl right here says, rightly says, to Pete Buttigieg. Now, the beginning statement of this Buttigieg Jubilee segment is Donald Trump is only running for president for himself. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, is running to make your life better. And isn't that always the lie? Listen to what she says right here.
So you said that you said the claim that Kamala's running because she wants to make things better, and Donald Trump says that he's just running because he is running for himself. I think anybody that's in politics is doing it for themselves, if we're being honest. Anybody that
everybody can see that. Politicians are psychopathic liars. We know that. History shows it. I don't care if you're talking about Democrat. I don't care if you're talking about Republican. The uniparty system can only produce psychopathic, parasitic liars. And why parasitic? Because they're in like a tick, like some kind of, just blood-sucking organism. They are there to suck the life out of America while they're taking rights away. So it's not enough for them to suck the life out of us, the economic life. They also terrorize us by taking away our unalienable rights. At least that's what the Declaration of Independence calls it, right? The unalienable rights, the God-given rights that no man has given you and no man can take from you, even though the men in Washington's district of criminals are constantly trying to take those rights away. But listen, she makes a really good point. Every politician, she didn't say psychopath, but every politician is a psychopathic, money-hungry, power-hungry parasite.
it's in government, anybody who's doing this, they have a background where they're passionate about something. But if we're being real, if you're running for president and you've been in politics this long, it is really truly about yourself. The issue
can I challenge that, though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's going to challenge it. But first of all, you don't become the president until you get the blessing of the financial cartel members. You're not going to take the seat at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue unless you have been selected by the banking elite. We know who controls this country. It's the people who control the issuance and value of our currency. It's the Federal Reserve. I'm not going to stop talking about it. They are the real problem in America and around the world. Listen to what Pete Buttigieg says here in defense of Kamala Harris.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody who's running for president is without ambition.
Yeah, of course.
That's all it
But
is.
I don't think that means that your core motivation is that it's about you. I think that people, like you said, get into politics or public service out of idealistic reasons, you hope,
Yeah.
at least some of the time. But I think there's two very different paths in the two different...
You hope at least some of the time that people get into, want to be the president of the United States for ideological reasons.
candidates, right? So you look at him, this is obviously not somebody who, felt motivated to join the school board in his local community,
Yeah.
wound up running for mayor.
So what Pete Buttigieg is going to do here is compare one psychopathic parasitic politician, Kamala Harris, with another banker-bought psychopathic parasitic politician, Donald Trump. And really, when you've sunk to that level, well, let me show you. Let's go real down deep in the barrel. Let's compare this amoeba with this amoeba. Let's compare this virus or this bacteria with this other one. We're not even at the bottom of the barrel. We're underneath the barrel, about 10 feet into the ground.
And then ran for president. This is somebody who ran for president.
This guy acts like he's convinced after he wholeheartedly was like, yeah, come on. We're not talking about mere ambition right here. These politicians want to grab the ring of power, and they just so happen to be funded by some pretty sinister parties.
My view, basically, is a branding exercise, and then won. With her, she did come up as a line prosecutor, right? And
yeah, prosecutors aren't bad. They're not parasitic. They're not psychopathic. They're not against the people. Guys, state prosecutors are against Americans. State prosecutors are enemies of the people they prosecute. State prosecutors will put innocent people in jail just so they can check it off, so they can put another mark on the wall. Or like Pat Benatar says, another notch in my lipstick case.
Served as a prosecutor, served as AG, served as a senator, served as VP.
Those are all positions that have historically been filled by the most corrupt human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. What is this guy talking about? Who's he laying cover for? He doesn't care about the truth. He doesn't care about Americans. He doesn't care about our prosperity. He cares about going to bat for his favorite psychopath.
What you're saying, anybody in politics, there's ego there, right?
Yeah.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I really feel that the things she's putting forward are more about solving our problems.
I feel like the things that she's putting forward, and let's say that everything that Kamala Harris or Donald Trump is putting forward is right down the line. It's totally constitutional. It's totally in protection of individual rights, economic prosperity. They're going to expose and throw the floodgates open for not only auditing the Fed, but eliminating the Fed, the IRS. Let's say that everything that they say is right down the line. You still can't trust them.
Than the things he's putting forward.
Yeah, so I will say I'm not someone who would vote for Trump. I'm actually third party.
I see.
So Jill Stein, for example, I'm a hardcore environmentalist, conservationist.
Oh God.
I'm an amateur entomologist, love bugs, but very big.
Oh God, Jill Stein. We did a video on Jill Stein. Jill Stein wants to introduce a $15 trillion reparations bill. That's Jill Stein. Jill Stein is a gun grabber. She wants to violate the Second Amendment by banning, which means criminalizing Americans who possess AR-15s, AK-47s, and high-capacity magazines. Jill Stein is not your friend.
Big into the environment. I was a part of the Climate Corps in Michigan, so I know a lot about the environment. And I understand that Kamala has a lot of initiatives that she...
Kamala. Almost, by the way, if you watch this Jubilee broadcast, almost every person, including black people, mispronounce Kamala Harris's first name, which really gets under the skin of liberals, specifically Democrats who love Kamala Harris.
Put forth. I mean, during the Biden-Harris administration, you had the passing of the American Climate Corps, which is fantastic because I was a part of that.
Oh, it's great.
However,
you served in that?
Yes, I did.
Very
yeah.
Cool.
So, but the problem that I see is I feel like I'm very against the two-party system, and it's because I used to be a part of it. I was a hardcore Democrat for a very long time.
So she understands the corruption that is not a side effect, but rather a feature of the two-party uniparty system. So she's speaking truth right here. It's corrupt from top to bottom. There's no rehabilitating the two-party system at all. It's a corporate structure only for the corporate elites, and they are going to put as their campaign head, that's going to be the president or the vice president, the most corrupt people that will bow down to that corporation. To hell with the will of the people.
Oh, I have lost a lot of faith in our two-party system, and I want to see something different, because when we have something where
she's really curbing it here, because you can kind of tell the way she feels. She hasn't lost a lot of faith in the two-party system. She has lost all faith in the two-party system. And why would she lose all faith in the two-party system? Because the two-party system, I don't care if you're talking about Republican or Democrat, is going to constantly, I mean, if you want to talk about, if there's such a thing as climate change, the people who are wreaking the most havoc and polluting most of the atmosphere is found in the U.S. government. But you have the U.S. government going, we need to do something about this existential threat of the climate crisis that you guys in the U.S. government are causing. So when she says she's lost some faith, she's lost all of her faith in the two-party system, and rightly so, because all they've shown us is that they're going to continue to economically terrorize us and take our rights away in the name of keeping us all safe. It's just a lie.
It's insanity. You have the same thing over and over and over again.
But here's what I want to try to convince you of,
Sure.
right? Yes.
Yeah, we have the same thing over and over and over. Oh, I know what you're going to say, Pete Buttigieg. This time it's different. This time we've got a prosecutor, an AG, a vice president, a former senator. This time we've got somebody who's in these streets, like she says. Yeah, this time it's different. They all say that. Every election cycle, every single one of them says it without fail.
Neither party is perfect. You've probably been let down.
It's not about perfection. It's never been about perfection. It's about corruption. Nobody looked at the mafia and Al Capone and go, well, they're not perfect. Well, we'll just forget about them. No, it's like, no, this is a serious problem and we need to deal with it right now. Nobody's perfect. Al Capone, we need to take him. Come on, man. Can you see the police chief going? And the police chief was on the take, so that's probably not a good example. But the police, let's say somebody who is really devoted to justice. Can you see them saying, Al Capone, the Chicago Mafia, the gang? Come on, nobody's perfect. Let's give him a pass. Messed up, man. And the government is far worse than any kind of organized crime mafia.
By your party from time to time.
Yes.
All of us have. However, one of two things is about to happen, right? Jill Stein is not going to become president of the United States. Donald Trump is, or Kamala Harris is, right?
And here we go. Brace yourself for it. Brace yourself, because he's going to say that thing that we always hear, that if you don't vote for that guy, then that guy is going to get in. Listen to the nonsense.
What I want voters like you to hear is anything but a vote for her works out to being a vote for him right now.
Yeah.
Because this is a swing state. You live in Michigan, right?
Yep.
In a few days, either it's going to be him or it's going to be her. And it could come down to like a couple votes per precinct, and one of those might be you.
It could be. I just, as a principle rule.
So if you don't vote for my guy, then it's a vote for the other guy. Did you know that the Trump crowd is saying the same thing? If you don't vote for Donald Trump, it's a vote for Kamala Harris. Wait a second. So that means my failure to vote is a vote for both of them? I can literally cast 2 votes by not voting? Wow, this is great. What's the magic? How do you do that? So this is the craziness of the political atmosphere that we find ourselves in. If you like these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list or my website, highimpactflix.com. Subscribe to me on my police accountability channel, which is Here's the Deal. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because the engagement really helps the algorithm. I will see you in the next video.